So it's day 2 of the Archaeological Field School here at the Culture Center. And as with any experience out in the field, conditions are dependent on manpower, machinery, and the weather. So today we actually had a pretty big downpour all over the city and in the Paloi area where we were working. So today they're doing classwork. They're stuck inside the museum, and we were going through different exercises, describing objects, also dealing with profile drawing, and a lot of the cultural curricula regarding the project.
This morning we have the kids using descriptive language because a huge part of what archaeology does is describe what we find, because we don't know what the people themselves called it. We don't know what the people themselves, how they used it. So a lot of times it's up to us to just do our best descriptive, use our best descriptive language so that form and function can be interpreted from the records that we leave. Because once an object is removed from its context, taken away from the artifacts with which it's associated, sometimes function is more difficult to determine.
This game is when you have an object in your hand, you explain and describe what the object is, and then you tell the group what it is. Like you describe, you give your details, and then you have to guess what it is by drawing it.
So in this case, we'll have very clear descriptions from the students as they practice writing all of those details about measurement and edges and possible interpretations.
Well, today started off with it being a rainy day, and so we were expected to go out to the site at Kioi, and it ended up being too wet, so we stayed in the cultural center all day.
Today we are taking measurements of ourselves, and since we didn't get to go outside, we had to lay down against the cabinets or displays. And the first thing we had to do was measure the floor to the display, to the top of the display, and then every 5 centimeters we needed to measure from, like, say, our forehead to the top of the display, and like our nose to the top of the display, and we had to measure a meter of our body, at least a meter.
And the kids did a lot of lessons with Cynthia Webb, and they did a lot of archaeology exercises and learned a lot.